First of all, I feel like it's hard having one wife.
It is.
Is that emotionally draining at all to be responsible to cover two women?
No, man. We're in love. We have a beautiful future that we're building together. I couldn't be happier.
How did you come to have two wives, and did you always believe in polygamy?
No. I recently studied polygamy, or say about 4 or 5 years ago when I was beginning to practice.
What made you research polygamy? I
was researching our culture, actually. And so I learned that practice of polygamy was better for our village and spreading and growing back then.
Okay.
And so I can see a lot of benefits to practicing polygamy. Number one, it's more bodies, it's more people. Survive better together. With multiple people working together with the same goal in mind, you can accomplish it easier.
So if you get into argument with one, do you carry that same energy over to the other? Or it's like, no, I'm mad at you right now, but now I'm still cool with you? Or does it just like cross over?
Oh, I'm carrying that energy. I'm totally kidding. No, not at all. You have to be real good at managing your energy. Absolutely. You can't take one energy from one to another.
If you're mad at one, are you talking about that one to the other?
Never. No.
Come on.
No, that's a sacred relationship.
You're on my nerves right
no, not at all. I go and I fake it and act like ain't nothing going on.
Peace, family, and welcome back to another episode of It's Negotiable. I am your co-host, Ernestine V. Morrison.
And I'm your co-host, Amber Ty.
And you already know, if you are part of the It's Negotiable family, what we talk about on this podcast, setting boundaries with people, places, and things that do not serve God's purpose for your life. But because of your obedience, some things may actually be negotiable. And today we have a very special guest. Interesting perspective and ideology. He is a spiritual, what do you call it? On your page, you have it written. It's a spiritual advisor. You are a life coach.
Yes, ma'am.
You are a speaker and entrepreneur.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kevin Wesley is in the building. Welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure, guys. Obviously, it is a honor to be on your show. And I hope to have a great build with you guys today.
It's going to be a great build indeed. So, Kevin, we asked, the first question we ask everybody is, what is something in your life that used to be non-negotiable, but now it's negotiable?
I guess I would say I used to have a one-track mind when it came to my personal beliefs. We all were raised with certain belief systems, you know. It was non-negotiable. You had to believe what I believed exactly how I believe it. But now I've learned that the world is a mighty large place, and we got to be accepting of how each other see the world. So God is all.
Oh, okay. So really what I'm hearing is like just flexibility and fluidity in the way you think. Okay. You're really showing me like it's just the power of belief.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm so sorry. I got to make sure because I got 2 wives and it could be an emergency second. I'm so sorry. Hello.
Wait a minute.
You know, because Lacey just had a baby and we couldn't get a breast pump at first, so we had to get one from this place, and they're trying to meet us to pick it back up. Okay.
You have 2 wives.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
First of all, I feel like it's hard having one wife.
It is.
Is that emotionally draining at all to be responsible to cover 2 women?
No, man. We're in love. We have a beautiful future that we're building together. I couldn't be happier.
How did you come to have 2 wives, and did you always believe in polygamy?
No. I recently studied polygamy, or say about 4 or 5 years ago when I was beginning to practice that. So I got married, first of all, when I was very, very young.
Okay.
Probably like 19 or 20 we got married.
Okay.
We stayed together for about 15 years, separated from there. And I was single for about maybe 4 or 5 years, and that's when I researched polygamy and all those types of things and how I'd like to do my next relationship. And my wife Jamie and I, we've never had an issue. I actually left her. I didn't truly understand the meaning of marriage. I thought you're supposed to feel head over heels in love all the time. We got married super young. You know, she got pregnant. I wanted to do the responsible thing, so we got married. After about 15 years, I asked to leave because I didn't feel like I was in love. You know what I mean? So I know that's irresponsible because it's someone who you asked to marry you. You now essentially gonna leave them, and they've given you their life, so to speak. You know.
So you left.
I left
and came back.
And came back, yeah.
With another wife.
Okay, thank you for the
well,
because I was confused.
You came back with another wife.
We all met before.
And she said, everybody come on in, dinner's ready on the table.
Well, so they officially met. I asked Jamie on the phone if she would consider doing poly with me because she did say that she would be open to it. And she was excited to do that. And so I allowed, hooked it up so her and Lacey could officially meet each other. They met each other. They sent me a photo with them together. You know how girls take pictures. Just, you know, I was blushing to get that photo, of course. And we planned a couple of dates and stuff like that to get more familiar with each other and all. And before you know it, we were one happy family.
And both of them just got along great.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we all get along great.
Okay, so she's being all fluffy. I want to get to the nitty gritty. So when I hear that, I think, oh, this man wants to have his cake and eat it too.
Cool.
Yeah.
This man wants to have a big orgy.
Yeah.
This man is a free. These are all things that people,
Yeah.
you know, when they hear that, that's what they think. And I remember I was dating this guy, and he did not practice polygamy anymore, but he used to. So I had a lot of questions for him. And I'm like, so do y'all all sleep in the same bed? And he said, no. I said, so how does that work? He's like, well, one night I go over here and one night, I was like, oh, no, sir. So how does that work in your household, if you don't mind me
asking? The same as it works for him. So believe it or not, it's not about sex. It's about the companionship and working together. I've never had a threesome in my entire life. Not once have I had a threesome. They're not into that. They're not into each other. So it's not, a big orgy type thing. They're both my wives. I dedicate my life to making sure they have all they need and protecting them. But we live in one big old house. I was telling you because I live where I lived earlier, but we found a big mansion there with a beautiful lake behind it. So life is like a vacation, and we all work together on our crafts to create our life.
But there's separate bedrooms.
Yes, each one of us have our own bedrooms. Absolutely.
Is there a schedule?
Yeah, I'm like, hell, is there a schedule?
There is a schedule.
See, now tell me about the schedule. So it's like Monday and Tuesday, I'm over here. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm over here?
Yeah, my schedule is hectic. Monday and Tuesday, I spend with Jamie. Wednesday and Thursday, I spend with Lacey. Friday and Saturday are my own days, but those nights, I sleep with each one of them. Sunday.
I'm sorry, rewind. The Friday and Saturday night, you sleep with each one of them?
Well, say like on Saturday night, I'll sleep with Jamie. Friday night, I'll sleep with Jamie, and then on Saturday night, I'll sleep with Lacey.
And what if you break the schedule?
I don't break my schedule. I don't break the schedule.
And then on Sundays, what?
I have to get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and transition.
Okay, this seems like a lot.
It's hard on me. I know, Lisa. I know you guys
already
are
have a
thinking
work
that
schedule
I'm
for work.
winning here, but
now
no,
you have a marriage schedule,
right?
And the women, do they ever feel like they're competing with each other, or like fighting for your time, or you fighting for your emotion or love?
No, and that's why I make sure not to break schedule. I don't want that happening. It'd be easy to happen, especially if you got, 3 people who's never practiced polygamy at all, and all they've known was monogamy. I'll say I've been probably the biggest issue because I feel guilty. Where we all full well understand what we did, but I still do feel guilty. So I'll often check with them. Are you okay? You good? I promise I'm good. Why are you tripping? So it mainly just be me in my head.
Because I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to share. I just don't. I want you with me every night. And I was looking at your Instagram, and I saw one wife. To me, it looked like one wife in particular stood out. And I was like, well, maybe it's because they just had a baby. But I'm like, no, I'm not taking. I don't want to be second. So how do they not feel that way? How do they not?
Are they both first, or is one the head wife and then there's the second wife? Or
there's no first or seconds. We are one.
Okay.
With 2 or more joined together, I am there also. So you're not 3 people anymore. You are one. You are one union now. So there is no first or second wife.
So if you get into argument with one, do you carry that same energy over to the other, or it's like, no, I'm mad at you right now, but now I'm still cool with you, or does it just like cross over?
Oh, I'm carrying that energy. I'm totally kidding. No, not at all. You have to be real good at managing your energy. Absolutely, you can't take one energy from one to another. And I can say that most men probably know how to do this, and most women too, especially if you guys have been out dating. You've been dating maybe multiple guys before. You guys don't leave mad at one and take it out on the. Oh, y'all probably do. It's probably what be wrong with y'all half the time.
But we're not in the same
totally
household.
And are you? If you're mad at one, are you talking about that one to the other?
Never. No.
Come on.
No,
You're
that's
not
a
saying,
sacred
"Oh,
relationship.
you keep it on my nerves right now."
No, not at all. I go and I fake it and act like ain't nothing going on.
And do they have their own time together, like their own private time, where they're maybe talking about you or venting to each other? Or
I would hope they wouldn't be talking about me in a negative way, of course. But yeah, they have their time. They got their sister girl time. They hang out and have fun.
Sister girl.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And, I get it that, I have studied that polygamy, or some people call polygyny, is very prevalent in other cultures and other countries, right? In this Western world that we live in, we are a monogamous culture. Monogamy is a lot of the times tied to religion. So I understand that there's different strokes for different folks, but I find it hard to grapple with.
No pun intended.
Different strokes for different folks. I just find it hard to grapple with sharing so many sides of my spouse. I have to share you emotionally, I have to share you physically, I have to share you mentally. And it just feels so unnatural. And I know a lot of people who are polygamists would fight you and debate you and say, no, polygamy actually is more natural than monogamy. But maybe we are so westernized that we think that monogamy is natural. Maybe not. I know what the Bible says. I know in the biblical times, many men had multiple wives, but I also know a lot of those men, it was a lot of confusion going on. And I also know that there's scriptures that say honor thy wife. It didn't say wives. It didn't say multiple. So I grapple with this whole idea and concept of monogamy versus polygamy. And I understand what one may think are the pros. What are the cons?
Well, the cons can be that confusion. The multiple parties that you bring into a relationship, it's just is more money, more problems. I'll definitely say more people, more problems. So you got to make sure everybody's in harmony and they all want the same things. But I'll point out that this is difficult in monogamous relationships. I mean, we got to look at divorces at an all-time high. So when people question us and they say things like, how do you know when polygamy will work or it won't work? I'm thinking that monogamy is appearing to not work simply because people can't seem to stay in relationships and take them seriously. I mean, it's rough out here. And to be honest with you, and I don't want to, hurt anybody's feelings or make anybody feel crazy, but our practices are poly. We're actually not monogamous as a people. It's a social agreement that we try to enter in. But if you think about how we date, whenever we're single, we date multiple people. And this is how we date. That's why the world looks the way it looks. That's why you have so many children born out of wedlock. We try to be accountable to our poly lifestyles by making it a way so you can have stepfathers and stepmothers, but this is children not born of the person that you marry. So it does make us polygamous, meaning that we have. So
you are classifying that as, if you are a stepfather, you are a single mom and you have a child, and then all of a sudden you meet a man, and now that man is your child's step. You're classifying that as polygamy? Yes,
monogamy is choosing one love. It's only having one. It's keeping yourself until marriage and marrying that one person and never being with anybody else. The moment that you go get another spouse, another person, that's a polygamous relationship.
Well, I thought the polygamous came in where there's multiple at one time.
No, ma'am. No.
Let me look up the definition, just because I like to look up. I like to look up definitions. Go ahead.
How long have you guys been in this polygamous relationship?
4 years.
4 years.
So I know a lot of people who practice polygamy. That is their main reason. The foundational principle is legacy and nation building, and that is technically how you build a nation. But I wanted to look up the textbook definition of polygamy, which is the practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband at the same time. So yeah. To my point, I think it's the same time that makes it polygamy, because I don't know if I could say a single father or a single mother who goes to find a new partner and have a stepchild or mother for their kid is now polygamous, because it's the same time part that I've always felt made it polygamy. So saying all that to say, wow.
Well, and that's why I say that we have relationships that make up for our polygamous nature. So of course your name is, say if you take someone who, let's take the Bible for instance, it gives us leeways on how to do marriage. It says to keep yourself until you sleep with one person, and that should be your husband or wife, right? And then it tells you until that person passes away, that's still your husband or wife. So the way to only be married again is if you are widowed. So that says that spouse has to be dead, and that's why marrying again wouldn't be considered cheating on your spouse, adultery, because your partner's gone. When you make that lifelong covenant that till death do us part, that is forging an agreement that you're with that person forever and no one else. Even if you say, we don't get along anymore, we're breaking up, we're ending a marriage, then that means that no one else, you're not supposed to be with anyone else if that person's still alive. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess I get it. Of course, you're asking someone to stay single forever because, or stay alone forever because the relationship that they got with didn't work. So that would be unfortunate. That'd be completely unfair to ask people to be alone like that. So of course we make different agreements. You can get married again. You can, get another